Hello everybody and welcome to VFR. Today we are doing a little bit of, let's say, flight planning for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, due to come out in just over 10 days as of I'm recording this. Who knows when it'll go out, but I was taking a look at the airplane list and trying to get a sense of what am I interested in diving into, and also I want to see what the community is interested in diving into. So there will be a poll going up however we have to do it. I don't know if we can do it in the comments or in the community page. But I just kind of want to see what people are most excited about, and this is kind of a summary of what I'm excited about looking at the list combined with looking at the developers of these add-ons. A couple big picture things about 2024 and the transition to 2024. We'll have 2024, and I intend to start messing around with it. And probably, I'd imagine that all GA stuff is probably going to move to 2024 pretty quickly. We'll be interested in the career mode. I'll try and showcase some of that too. But yeah, I imagine that, and I think it looks like, we'll see how it goes, but it looks like it will be a pretty complete package out of the box. There's a ton of airplanes. I plan on getting the premium deluxe version, ton of airplanes, and a lot of really interesting airplanes. I'm sure there's going to be a mixed bag. I think there's going to be probably some duds in there, but with how they've improved the airplanes over 2020, I don't have any hesitation in going to that level, because I think if they invest time in some of these airplanes, they will be really good. And a lot of the preview streams have looked really good too. We'll see about the other stuff. I am kind of operating on the assumption that big jet IFR airliner stuff is going to be kind of a 2020 thing for the next few months at least, maybe 3 to 6 months before everything's kind of ported over. It could be earlier than that. I don't know. I've heard that GSX and Beyond ATC have Flight Sim 2024 alpha builds that they're testing. So I don't know, but we'll see. We have a very complete airliner simulation 2020 now. But 2024, how long it'll take to migrate into 2024, not sure. But we'll keep an eye on that as it is going. There's also some stuff trickling out now about how different add-on developers are going to handle the upgrade or not upgrade or whatever. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on too. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, I think, once the sim is released and we see what we're getting. For now, I'm really thinking about, we're going to bring back Why You Should Fly as a series for 2024. And I'm thinking about what planes are going to be the most interesting. I think it'll probably go hand in hand a little bit with the career mode. But yeah, I was just thumbing through this and figured, hey, this might be good content. So let's go dive in. I got the airplane list up here, and we're just going to look at some stuff and talk about them. And the first one that I've been kind of looking forward to, and I've seen, it's developed by Blackbird, AKA the developer formerly known as Milviz. They make good stuff. They made the Beaver, the 310R. They're making the S64 air crane. I haven't done a ton of helicopter flying. We're going to have to figure out the bindings and make it work, because air crane is just a really cool helicopter to me. I've always, seen those around. Really cool capability. I don't know what we'll be able to do even in free flight, but how long it'll take us to get to that level in, say, a career mode. But yeah, that's definitely the first one I've circled in big red letters is the air crane. And I think there's probably a lot of depth you can get into with how you operate that. Now, will we be able to represent that in any meaningful way outside of the career mode? I don't know. But it's just a really cool machine. It's a cool looking helicopter. It's unique. It's got a lot of really cool features, and it's a very capable helicopter. So that was the first one that I think we've circled. Be a little bit of a learning curve just on the helicopter front. There's actually a few cool helicopters too. We're going to just bounce around a lot here because the H125 and 225 are coming to the sim too. H125, both by High Performance Group, who initially came out with the first Airbus helicopter mod. So we could even dig into those two. That may be a big part of our training. The H125 and the 225 is in the premium deluxe, but that's a nice big helicopter. Very cool. Cool helicopters too. So we may even have to have a primer on helicopter flying, but we got a lot of helicopters to dig into. Now, if we look at the fixed wing stuff, the first one I was watching, because I was watching the stream earlier, is the Airbus A400. Looks pretty good from any build. You know, it's not going to be a full fidelity just by the nature of it being a military simulation, but big, decent fidelity military hauler. I think it'll be a really cool one. I don't know how they'll integrate that into the career mode, but I do think there will be plenty of depth and different kind of big jet procedures that you can apply. You know, your tactical landings and some other tactical maneuvers that you can do. Might be interesting to explore in that. So A400 of all of these, I think, you know, the 737 MAX, we have the iFly, so, but we'll see how that is. The Beluga and A330 are interesting. Where's the A330? Oh, here it is. A330 and the Beluga. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not as much of an Airbus aficionado, so they all look the same to me. But it's definitely nice to have another wide body option for everybody. All right, so moving right along to our prop planes. The next one up, I think, is a real good contender, is the Air Tractor. I think it'll be, again, hopefully we can get to that pretty quickly in the career mode. And then, you know, if everything works outside of it. That's a really cool, interesting airplane. Should be pretty simple, but it has a neat capability, a lot of unique capabilities, and definitely one that is circled on my list. That's being developed by Asobo. Carinado is making the Cessna AgCat up here. So or the Ag truck, I should say. So we will see, you know, we can compare these two. I think the Air Tractor is just an interesting, kind of unique airplane on its own. It's got some, you know, there have been a lot of pushes to get that into military service too. It can be used as an air tanker, crop spraying, all sorts of stuff. So that will be really cool, but you operate really low to the ground. And so always operating in that kind of environment, in those farm fields and hills, in that kind of GA, VFR, highly VFR farm air tractor environment, I think that'll be a really interesting thing to explore in this sim. Now moving on, we've got some FOMO for me. We got the Cessna Corvallis, which is basically like a Cessna. Cessna's answer to the Cirrus. Now we'll have the Cirrus too. So the SR-22, I think we'll definitely get some love in this too. But the Cessna, the Corvallis, the 400 Corvallis is based, or you know, it's based on the design that was originally an amateur-built Lancer that then Columbia Aircraft built. So it's very modern. It's gonna be glass cockpit. It's gonna be a lot like something like the Vision Jet or the SR-22, glass, and maybe, you know, one of this or the Cirrus or both. We can use it for more kind of glass cockpit. I assume this has a G1000. I don't really know, but I assume it has a G1000. So maybe we dig deeper into the G1000 with this, or of course our trusty Cirrus SR-22. So let's now we've gotten up to here. Let's touch on some more premium, deluxe, and deluxe options. I kind of want to keep the first thing we talk about standard. Everyone has it. We can, you know, everyone can dig into it with us. And then we can go up to here and see some of these interesting, cool planes too. But one in here in the deluxe that caught my eye was the Cessna 408 Sky Courier. This is an airplane that I think FedEx has been instrumental in getting developed by Cessna. This particular add-on, or not even an add-on, it's just a plane in the sim, developed by Carinado. So we'll see what level of fidelity. It'll look good. But I assume it'll have a glass panel in it. And 2 turboprop engines. It's sized for standard LD3 containers instead of the old Cessna 208, the Grand Caravan, that they also use, which would have to take on individual boxes and stuff. So it's a really new airplane, just a couple years old. I think they started flying in 2023. So, you know, modern, state-of-the-art Cessna airplane. I think that'll be an interesting airplane, a lot of FedEx operations. It expands our freight dog lineup a little bit, which should be cool. And we have all the standard ones here. We also, again, have the Ag truck that we can look at that too. Moving up to premium deluxe though. There are a few in here that I'm interested to kind of dig more into. The King Air, that Beechcraft King Air, I believe, is a Carinado. I don't know. Yeah, so the Beechcraft, so the C90 is a Carinado. I assume they'll put a glass panel in it. But maybe not. Who knows? If it has some more steam gauge stuff in there, I think it'll look really cool. Again, I think that'll depend a lot on the avionics. But the King Air, the 350 is it's a fun plane to fly. So I think definitely worthwhile to look at. The C-17, this is from Miltech, who has made a couple of things, the V-22, which I haven't flown, and I think they have a CH-47 as well, but I'm not sure about that. So we'll see how that is too. If that has any reasonable level of fidelity, I think we can experiment with that. I'm excited to see that included. It's not something I would buy, I think, but it is something that I would mess around with if it's included in the sim. Now, the 47, the CH-47, included in our helicopter discussions, is that's developed by Blackbird Sim. So high hopes for the 47. I think that'll be really cool. We have a 47 in DCS now. Can mess with the 47 here. Again, I assume they'll be it'll have some similar capability for lifting, and I'll be interested to see how they integrate it into the career mode. But that could definitely be an interesting thing. I'll knock off the. I will personally get into the Longitude and the Dreamliner and stuff that I haven't flown from 2020 because I never upgraded. But seeing what they've done with those airplanes, I'm excited to look at that. And then the PC-24, this is Pilatus private jet, another Carenado developed. Again, assume it'll be a glass panel. We'll see how this comes out, in what state it comes out in, and if it's worth us digging into. I think that'll be really cool. It'll be definitely a contemporary to the CJ4 in terms of range, payload, and kind of the class it serves. Now, one last note. I think the Aviator Edition, if you are on the fence about the Aviator Edition, if you think, I don't know exactly how much more it costs than the top Premium Deluxe. But basically, the Aviator Edition includes all 30 of the local legends and famous flyers that they made for Flight Sim 2020. Some of these are really good. The ATR is really good. I really enjoy the Bonanza is fun. It's a fun little steam gauge Bonanza. I enjoy the Stagger Wing, and I enjoy the Model 18. The Beech 18 is not. It has not been without its bugs. This is a Carenado. Both of these were Carenado, but the Beech 18 is not without its bugs. But I do enjoy it. It's a fun airplane to fly. I like it. It's just kind of a nice mix of the way they did it, old and new, in terms of that. But a lot of these other ones, I don't necessarily have. So I did not get the Aviator Edition because I feel like I have all of the ones that I need. And the way I understand it, if you have these airplanes in 2020, they will transfer over to 24. So I'll have the 18, the Stagger Wing, the Bonanza, the DHC-4 Caribou. There's another layer down here. And the ATR, stuff like that. So, I mean, I've heard good things about the Antonov, the AN-2. Some of these Cessnas are pretty simple and should be pretty good. You get I got the Ford Trimotor too. So if you have some of these, if you kind of have some of these that you like and want, I don't know that I recommend getting all of them. Some of these are good. Some of these, like the Cessna or the Boeing, the 707 was kind of a hot mess on launch. I don't know if anything has happened to the Stratoliner. These are airplane heaven airplanes, so I really don't know whether those are going to be worth it at any point in the future. So it's a real mixed bag. I think there's some really cool stuff in here. But then you also get some of these things like the flying boats, which I think if you're interested in that is cool. But some of these old flying boats are, maybe not my cup of tea. And it's a little obscure for my taste. The MU2, has had its troubles. The Junkers is good. We've flown the Junkers. So again, it kind of depends on that. If you don't feel like you have enough airplanes already, go for it. I feel like I have all the ones I want out of this lineup, so I have not gone that high. So we'll see. We're definitely spoiled for choice in 2024. It's a ton of airplanes. I think it'll be really interesting to see what level all these come in. I think it's a really positive thing that they're bringing on a lot of third-party developers. AnyBuilds and Blackbird and Miltech and Carenado. I think that's good. I think that really helps us. The sim is the most value in terms of default planes ever, by a long shot. And some of the things that they're adding, like walkarounds and taking, external interactive walkarounds, which are features that we've only really seen in the top of the line GA payware airplanes. I don't think that anything involved in that makes this more gamified. But I expect a little bit of a mixed bag in terms of some of these, the add-on fidelity here. Certainly, hopefully it remains possible to improve them. And I think it'll be interesting to see what else comes over and how smoothly everything else comes over. But we will have plenty to dig into when this first comes out in a couple weeks. So looking forward to that. And again, I'm hoping to pick a couple of these. Let's look at why we should fly them. And then hopefully we'll dig a little bit deeper and learn how to operate them and take it even a step further and get into some of the nitty gritty. So that's it for me. We're just going to pontificate on Flight Sim 2024 for a little bit. Thank you for watching. If you have any particular aircraft that you are interested in seeing out of this list or seeing ported over, drop that in the comment section below. Really interested to see, because I think some of the weird ones, the Sky Crane, I think it'll be cool. I don't know what we're going to use it for. I think the air tractor will be cool for low-level flying. There's a lot of great bush options, too. I think bush flying will be something we'll have to dig into a lot more. But again, what you're excited about 2024, drop in the chat below. So I will stop rambling. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoy all the flying that you have in 2020 and all the flying to come in 2024. Take it easy, y'all.